Good evening, everyone, and welcome, Miss Nancy. So today we have another synergy program that is initiated by Adore. So we have this program basically so that we have expertise coming from different fields and interacting with our youths and enhancing their knowledge as well. So we have with us Miss Nancy with us. So Michelle will be giving a brief introduction about our speaker, after which we will carry on with the session. Michelle?
Can you hear me?
Uh, yes, Michelle.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. It's absolutely delightful to be introducing our speaker for today, Miss Nancy Ekpezu. To tell you guys a few things about her, she's a professional administrator, management consultant, and a life coach who has worked in the education sector for 25 years and 15 of which were at the school leadership level. And she has contributed immensely to the growth of four reputable schools across four cities in Nigeria as a school administrator since 2015. She's a founder of the Facebook group Educational Administration Network with over 12,000 members and an author of the highly impactful book called Dear Educator, which she published in May 2019. Currently, she is a lead consultant and trainer of Pezu Smith Consulting. She's also spoken at several reputable platforms within Nigeria and beyond, including a TEDx talk. And in 2018, she was nominated for an award by the prestigious ArcLights Foundation for Education Advancement in Africa. It is absolutely a delight to have you here, ma'am. Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure. Thank you so much, Michelle. So can we start?
Yes,
Are we
ma'am.
starting right away?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you recording it?
Yes,
Are
ma'am.
you recording?
It is recorded. Yes,
Okay, okay, I can see recording because I'd like to have this to share on my YouTube channel.
yes.
So thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone. I'm so delighted to be here today. And it's my pleasure to share with us on the topic, taking charge of your personal and professional development. Taking charge of your personal and professional development. I can see there are lots of young people here, and I'm always delighted to speak to the youth because guess what? You're the ones driving things in the economy. You're the ones driving the whole the whole digital narrative and all the changes that we're seeing that are literally transforming the world. And it's always my pleasure to be, in the midst of young people doing amazing things. So thank you so much for having me. I'm going to be sharing my screen right away. And I'd like you to know that my sessions are usually very interactive. I like to always make time to check the comments and hear questions and contributions from participants at my workshop. So thank you very much. We're starting with 19 of us, and that is awesome. I'm sure more people are going to join as time goes on. So I'll be sharing my screen, and I'm going to start right away. Okay, so let me see what mode I can use now so that it's sort of, okay, so I guess this is fine. This should be fine. No, this had fade this way. Okay, so I'm not seeing myself. Okay, yeah, prefer this mode now. This is fine to go. Okay, so like I said, the topic is taking responsibility for your personal and professional growth. Taking responsibility for your personal and professional growth. Okay, you've already met me. I'm sure Michelle has already said everything that is here on this slide to introduce me, so we'll go right ahead. Now, what are objectives for today? I can see young people here, and so basically this is about creating awareness about the need to take responsibility for your personal and professional development. A lot of times we look at ourselves and think that developing ourselves lies only with our parents or with our employers or whatever. But I need this webinar to be able to nudge you out of your comfort zone to actually take responsibility for your personal development, not to leave it in the hands of anybody else, to know that you can do a whole lot to change your narrative, you can do a whole lot to, to develop yourself and be that person that you've always wanted to be. And in this 40 minutes or thereabout, we're going to be discussing just that. Well, first of all, I'd like us to know, what is professional development? What do we even understand by professional development? I'm trying to check for comments. Okay, there are no comments at the moment. Okay, I just want to see if there are comments there or anything. So I can see that there are comments. So I'd like to keep that by the side so that I don't miss anyone. Okay, so professional growth is all about gaining new skills, knowledge, and experience to enhance your career. I'm not a very big fan of big definitions and very bogus terms. So in very simple, everyday language, professional growth is all about gaining new skills, new knowledge, and new experiences to enhance your career. I'm sure that serves for the purpose of what we're discussing today. And while you're developing yourself professionally, it's always important to know that you need to develop yourself as a person. So personal development and professional development should always go hand in hand. And your personal development is important in your career and your personal growth and development. So basically, while you're developing your career, how you want to get to the peak of it, the things that will help you get there also have a lot to do with your personal development as an individual. And by this, I mean understanding yourself, your personality, what is your makeup, what is your temperament, how is your emotional intelligence, how are your social skills, the soft skills relating with other people, and all of the adaptability, your critical thinking, and all of the things that help to make you a better individual, boosting your self-esteem, becoming a better version of yourself so that your career can also advance. So let's hear from you. Does anybody want to share what has been your personal experience with professional development? First, is anybody here working or doing an internship somewhere or whatever? So what has been there's a question here. It says, is there any difference between personal and professional development? Yes, there is a difference. Both of them should go hand in hand, but professional development basically has to do with all the things you do to acquire new skills, new knowledge, new experience to advance your career. Personal development has to do with holistically analyzing yourself as a person and then discovering your strengths, your weaknesses, and working on them to become a better version of yourself, okay? And that will also help you in your career. So basically, there's a link between them, but they're actually two different things. Thank you very much for that question, Nilofa Naderi. I hope I pronounced your name well. I always like to pronounce names properly. So would anybody want to share what has been your personal experience with professional development? Is anybody here? Are you students? Are you having an internship in any organization? Or, are you an intern? Or are you already working? Would you want to share a bit about what your professional development journey has been? Is anybody willing to do that? I haven't seen any comments yet. Okay, so I'll just go on, and if anyone pops up here, I'll read it out to us or, expatiate on it or whatever. Okay, so while I wait for the comments. Now, why is professional development, why is it important? Why all this fuss about professional development? Why do we need to make time to ensure that we get new skills, new knowledge, new information, new training, and to develop ourselves in our career? There's something it does. It helps you to avoid stagnation. I remember people who even started their careers with me at the same time that I did. Okay, you'll see that some of them were not quite developing themselves, and after some time they got stuck in the career and became very, very dissatisfied with where they were. But they couldn't just do anything, more like helpless. They became more like helpless. So when you keep developing yourself, it avoids stagnation because you won't be at one point for too long and you will not get bored on the journey of, your career. One of the things that make it really exciting for me in my career is that as I keep developing myself, opportunities keep opening, and so there's always some level of excitement to look to the on the next stage. And as I try new things, more opportunities open up. So I'm never bored. There's no stagnation. I can always move. Either even if it's on the same job role but in another organization with a better pay, I know that my career is not stagnated in any way because I can always try out new things as I keep developing myself. So that's one of the things you get to enjoy when you keep developing yourself. Opportunities open. You're not stagnated. Even in the same organization, when doors or more opportunities open, they'll always be open to those who are developing themselves. You get to see that employers value those who actually keep investing in their professional development above those who are just there, contented and ready to just stay at the same level. So for you as an individual, it keeps you from stagnation. Let me look at the comments now. Okay. So Priyanshi Mehta says, let me see what she says. He or she says, he says, while going through professional development, it's also important to develop some of our interpersonal skills. Absolutely, very important. That's very correct. From Michelle to everyone, I'm a college student right now, and I've only recently started an internship. So that's a small progress in terms of professional development. That's really great. You get to see that. I also mentioned internship later. I'll mention internship later as one of the ways that you can develop yourself on your career. Really nice. Okay. So it helps you to avoid stagnation. Then it earns you more money. Who doesn't want more money? I'm sure we all do. When the opportunities for promotion in the organization, they won't go to those who are not developing themselves. If you have two people in an organization vying for the same position, the likelihood of the one who is not developing himself getting it above the one who is very, very slim. You stand a higher chance to get promoted. You stand a higher chance to even leave the organization to earn a higher salary in another organization if you're developing yourself. But if you keep at the same level, then you may not be able to increase your income, your take home pay, because the value that you bring in is perceived to be equivalent to how the skills that you've acquired, the experience, and how much exposure you've been able to give yourself in that particular area where your employers need the service. So I would say very boldly that developing yourself, it translates later on to earning more money. It may not happen immediately, but trust me, on your journey as you keep developing yourself, you earn better money than those who are not if you stay in the same career with them. So I urge you to always, always be the one developing yourself, okay? And don't stay at the same spot. Then what else is professional development important? It prepares you for new roles. It prepares you for new roles. I remember when I actually started out as a teacher, okay, in the 90s, 1994 to be precise, and I kept teaching for some years, but after a while, I began to take courses that prepared me for administration. I went on to do my postgraduate diploma in management, and then I did a master's degree in business administration. I went on to do the Chartered Institute of Administrators courses over a 2.5 year period to get certified as a chartered administrator. And so when opportunities began to open for administration, definitely they didn't pick any of the teachers who were not developing for that role. So it was very easy, in fact, very easy for the management, for the owners of the organizations where I work to say, well, there's already someone here who has prepared for this role. So why go look for someone elsewhere? Even though that role where I became a school administrator for the first time was actually reserved for an international staff. But because I had been developing myself over the years, they were like, well, why don't we open it up to a local for the first time this time around? And that was how I got it there. And after that, it's been one school administration position after the other until I left and then still new roles out of what I've been developing myself. I now consult for schools in the same area of administration and management. So you'll see that it prepares you for new roles. As you keep developing, opportunities will open in that same area that you're developing yourself. So if you tell yourself, okay, I want to focus on maybe civil engineering, and you keep developing and developing, you take one course after the other, you network with people in that area, you learn new roles, you learn knowledge, new information, you do some research, you take courses, short courses here and there. You're preparing yourself for bigger roles in that same civil engineering. Okay? All right. So another thing that you'll find out is that it makes you more valuable to your employers. It makes you more valuable. When organizations want to lay off, and I'm sure a lot of them did during this COVID-19 pandemic, quite a number of organizations have had to lay off people painfully. It's not like they wished to, but it just suddenly happened. But you know what? They will not lay off the most valuable employees. They will always start with the ones who are not bringing as much value to them. And what translates to you bringing value? How much cost, how many courses you've attended, and how much of it you're able to bring back home and use as skills on the job. How much knowledge of your job you have, and all of the other skills that go with it. How personable you are, how well to get along with other staff members, you are. And then they decide that the ones who do not meet this criteria will have to go if anybody has to go. So it makes you valuable to your employers. They value you. You're invaluable to them because they just treasure what you have to give. No employer wants to let go of their best staff, of their best hands. They do everything to keep you, unless you just must go, maybe due to relocation or for some reasons that they cannot help, or that you cannot help. So developing yourself makes you valuable, makes you really, really invaluable to your employers. And then it builds your self-confidence. If you see an area where someone is shining, they are usually very confident in that area. If you talk to me about administration, I can go on from morning till night because that is my core, that is my forte, that is where I have my training, that is where I attend professional development courses, that is where I keep reading, that is where I'm currently writing a book on. So it builds your self-confidence as you keep developing in a particular area, and that becomes your forte, that becomes the area of your strength, that becomes the area that you're known for. And it just makes you very confident. Remember, when you're confident, you shine in that area. It draws opportunities to you. Okay, let me stop to look at the questions here. Let me see what comments are. After session ends, can you please share your PowerPoint if possible? Oh, that is fine. I'll be willing to share that with you. That is beautiful. That's fine by me. You can maybe you guys can have your email addresses and I'll just forward that to you or to the Adore project, okay? Please, how can one do with managing a school and one's temperament issues? So when we start taking questions, I'll come to that. That will be under personal development. So we're still on professional development and why it is important. And I say it draws opportunities to you as an individual. When opportunities are maybe adverts or opportunities in your organization for internal growth, they'll always be drawn to those who are developing themselves. If, for example, the criteria for that position are stated and only 2 people in the organization have been developing themselves that have developed the kind of portfolio needed for that position, it will go to either of the 2 and not to the ones who do not have the qualification. So it draws opportunities to you. People are generally drawn to you, in the area of your strength, in the area that you've been developing yourself. I remember when Dan Weke reached out to me on this project, it's because she sees the things that I've been posting online because that's the area I'm passionate about. That's the area that I know I do a whole lot of stuff on. And so the opportunity to speak at various platforms on administration keep opening and opening and opening everywhere I go. Okay, so it draws opportunities to you. Okay, so let's hear from you. What ways have you been developing yourself professionally? Would you want to share that? What ways can you have you been develop? What means have you been using to develop yourself professionally so far? Does anybody want to share?
Hello, Ma.
Yes, please.
Hello, Ma. Hello, everyone.
Okay.
My name is Bianca Iwa, and I would like to just talk about how I've been developing myself. Can you hear me,
Okay,
Ma?
great. Yes, please, I can.
So, ever since I was young, or ever since I was in secondary school, I've always known that I've had this likeness for kids. So I just know that I have a soft spot for kids. Like children feel me. I have this overwhelming joy anytime I see kids and anytime I listen to them. So I knew that maybe my career could be something that would just go in line with education or training kids.
Oh,
So
good.
what I've been doing ever since I graduated from secondary school, even when I was in SS1, I've been teaching. I've been also assisting teachers to teach. I enjoy teaching kindergarten kids. That's like kids from 6 or 5 years below. So have been teaching. I've also been doing home tutorials. I've also been babysitting kids. I've just been trying to get into kids' world. I've been reading books about children, especially one book I read, How to Talk to Kids and How to Talk to Kids so they will listen and how to listen to kids so they will talk to you by Adele Faber. So I've also been going to schools to assist in teaching. There was one particular school I went. I'm a student currently. So there was one particular school I went to. Although I was not paid, but I was glad that I was able to learn one or two things about teaching, about managing a class, about having conversation with children, about teaching generally, I would say. So I think that's how I've been helping myself. I've also been attending some seminars on Zoom, like this one. I've also been watching some video clips on YouTube and also following up some people that are educators or educationists. So I think that's
Wow,
how I've
thank
been
you
helping
so much
myself.
for sharing, Bianca. Thank you. That's amazing. Bianca says she's been reading books. She's also volunteered in a school to have a feel of what it is to take care of children. Since she's actually passionate about that, she discovered that's where her calling may be, taking care of young ones. She's also followed up by personal learning through YouTube and following people who are actually educators online. That is so amazing. You're on the right track, Bianca. Thank you for sharing. Okay, so those are some of the ways that you can actually develop yourself. And we're going to have a look at some of these ones now that I have. Okay, so what are some professional development opportunities you could take advantage of? One would be, if, for example, if you're interning in an organization and they're preparing budgets or there's a project, you could opt to be on that project, okay, and stretch yourself. It helps to stretch you and you could learn. If they're preparing budgets, there's a project, or you need to manage a certain number of people more than you've ever managed, I urge you to always say yes to such opportunities if they will enhance your career. Very important. I recall when I had to volunteer once, on a project. I didn't know that I'll end up managing people to the point of having 100 people under my supervision someday. But when it started with just leading a little team of 10, of 20, and now I lead really large teams. On my last job, I led a team of over 100 employees, and I had 3 heads of schools working under my supervision while I reported to the board of directors. So always take advantage of opportunities to manage bigger budgets, more people, or more bigger projects, whatever. And then you could volunteer, like the last speaker just said. So you could volunteer either on your job, okay, or on a corporate organization or a charity work. It could even be a community development project. Just go ahead and volunteer to do it. You never know what you learn from all these things. They go a long way to help your CV. They go a long way to show that you have a selfless attitude and a heart of service towards humanity. And these are the things that we look at when we are actually recruiting or recommending people. So you don't joke with such things at all. Another is that you could attend professional development training, or you gain or gaining insight, getting sought out after qualifications. So if you have trainings coming up, like Ada said, she's attended a few trainings here and there. All these are really nice, really beautiful. So you could look out for professional training, or look out for things that could lead to qualification in those areas that you are interested in developing a career. Take on a new role to gain specific experience, knowledge, or skills. Take on a new role. If in your organization there's a need for maybe someone to be moved to another department, don't always be the one saying no, no, no to every offer. I'm not saying you jump at everything, but be open to new roles. Be open to learn specific experience and gather new skills and knowledge that will help you in developing yourself. Okay. Now, some examples of professional development opportunities could also be raising your profile through public speaking. I remember when I spoke at the TEDx event, it actually raised my profile a great deal because the class of people who wanted me on their platform began to change because I was perceived in a certain way. And so any opportunity you have to speak in public, please take advantage of it and develop your skills behind the scene so that when you get there, you deliver an excellent job. Then accept delegations from superiors if you're in an organization. If you're already working or if you're already an intern, when there are opportunities for delegation, accept them. If your boss says, I'm going out for 1 week and I need someone to help do this, that, if you've never done it, don't be shy to accept responsibilities. You make your mistakes and then you learn. So if you're delegated new jobs and new roles to do, just take them and give it a shot. Give it your best shot, and you never know where that could lead you. And some of these skills you'll end up having on your CV. Okay, then get a mentor or a coach. If you have listened to my TEDx talk, or by the way, if you have not, I recommend that TEDx talk for you. It's titled Personal Development is Your Superpower. But just Google my name, Nancy Ekpezu, the TEDx on YouTube, the TEDx talk will pop up. And I remember I mentioned that everybody should get a coach or a mentor. There's a role that a coach or a mentor will play in your life, even though it's been abused a lot of times, but mentors have their role. They can look at you and see far beyond, what you're seeing about yourself and make recommendations that will be really helpful for you in your career. So don't underrate the role of a mentor or a coach. Get one. I actually coach young people as well. Some reach out to me on LinkedIn and I talk to them about career choices and a few things that they could consider. And that's very helpful. Okay. So what are some ways you could manage your personal and professional development? The first thing is to set clear goals. You remember what she said, that she has found out that she can work with children? Okay, the last speaker, that was fine. That means she already has a goal. That will help her know where to channel her personal, her professional development and the skills and the areas that she needs to work on to do an excellent job on that career. So set your clear goals. What do you want to be? Do you want to be a civil engineer? Are you already in school working on that? What kind of organization do you picture yourself in? Are you planning to be self-employed? Are you planning to be the best employee when you're employed by a multinational or a small or to medium scale organization? You have to set all of this, and let things work. I'm not saying they always happen exactly how you set it, but that helps to give you a clear sense of direction where you're actually going. And I must say that a lot of young people just meander through life, but it's easier when you have a clear goal. And like I said, a mentor helps you to set those kind of goals, and then you're able to start working to achieve them. Then be intentional and plan your development. Be very intentional. Be very intentional. Don't just leave things to chances. Be very intentional about your development. Write them down. Start learning about yourself. What are the things you can do? What are the things you like? What are the things you dislike? What are the things you do not like? If you offer me a job as a maths teacher, I'll run for my life because that's not my forte. But give me anything in administration or management, oh, I would love it and I can stay on that job forever and I'll just love doing it, okay? So whatever goals I set will always be in those areas. I'm not saying you shouldn't be flexible, don't get me wrong. There's a room for flexibility, but clarity also helps a great deal. Okay, so look for and take the right opportunities. Because you have goals and you're intentional, you will now know the opportunities to take. So that it's not just everything that comes, you start grabbing and, trying out everything in the whole world before you now realize what you really want to do. Discuss your career plans with your manager or your mentor or coach. That really helps. When you set goals, measure your progress. How much are you achieving? What are the things you're doing that are right? What are the ones you need to stop? What are the which are the ones that will enhance your career? Which are the ones that will set you back? Who are your associations? Who are the people that you hang around with? Are they speaking the same language with you? Are they heading in the same direction that you are in the area of your career? Are they encouraging your career growth or discouraging you? So get a mentor, a coach, like I said earlier on. Someone asked if personal development and professional development are exactly the same. And I said both are important, but they're not exactly the same. Your career, the professional development is mainly about your career, okay, enhancing it through the acquisition of new skills, new knowledge, new experiences to make your career work, okay? But personal development has to do with holistically analyzing yourself, doing a personality test, knowing the kind of person you are, understanding yourself, coming to a level of self-awareness, and knowing that, well, this is who I am, and these are the things I like about myself. These are the things I do not like. These are the areas I need to work on. I'm basically just building your self-esteem, your self-confidence, and having a clear sense of direction so that you become a better version of yourself. So for your personal development, you need to know what your personality type is. Okay, you also need to understand your temperament. I am melancholic, for example. Melancholics are not known to be loud people. They are not known to be very vibrant. Okay, but they have their key strengths, which are that they are very focused and they are loyal people. They make very loyal friends. They're not all over the place, everywhere, but, when they make friends, they really connect and they make lifetime friendships. They build lifetime friendships of loyalty, which is a key strength. So it also means that we may person, but when my inner circle of people know that I'm a very committed person to relationships, okay? So you have to understand yourself so that you don't keep comparing yourself with the next person and comparing their race with yours and feeling discouraged or sad or angry or bitter about who you are. Everybody's born with a personality. Everybody's is born with a temperament. But you can work to make sure that you do not have too many of the weaknesses that come with your temperament. I recommend that you do a study on your temperament. Find out what kind of temperament you have. Are you melancholic? Are you melancholic? Are you sanguine? Are you choleric? Or are you phlegmatic? All of these are very important, okay? You need to know why some people are just sociable. They get there, they're the life of the party, and everybody just likes them. And then sometimes their friendships do not last. Before you know it, they're falling out with everybody, and they're on to the next people, and people just like them everywhere they go. And there's some people that are not easily liked as they get into a place. But with time, you get to discover that these are the anchor people that you can hold on to in your life. They are loyal, they are committed to you, and all of that. You have to know where you are, know your personality as well, and then begin to develop your personality. Begin to look at the weaknesses, begin to look at the strengths, and see where you can really enhance, your personality. So work on your temperament weaknesses, improve your personal finances. I like to tell everyone that even though we don't get to be taught this in school, everybody needs to know their relationship with money. It's very important. You can work for a whole lot of years and not know what to do with it. And you can have people who have an idea of personal finances do a whole lot. I have a friend who is always encouraging me to invest. Yesterday, I just invested in some stuff because of advice that she gave me about an opportunity for an investment. So you need people in your life who can also talk to you about your finances, maybe get a coach in that area. Because ultimately, when we work, we need to know that it's not just enough to know that it's not just enough to build a career. You also need to know that you can develop your personal finances thoroughly, okay? And be able to invest and do several other things that others who who are not financially literate will be able to do. Then work on your relationship skills. You're not going to be an island. No matter where you work, you're going to come in contact with people. They're going to get on your nerves, and you're going to like some, and you will not like some. You're going to learn to just get on with everybody and do your job well. Collaboration skills, networking skills, all of these are very important skills that you need to learn as you develop yourself. You need to work on your emotional intelligence. It's not about how much your IQ is. Your emotional intelligence is so important in delivering on your job. I remember my first school administration job. I was so frustrated. I was a highly intelligent school administrator, but my emotional intelligence was so poor, and I had to wonder what everything was just crumbling all around me, even though everybody thought I was performing excellently. But I could have done better with the way I handled the staff and the way that I related with all the stakeholders. As you get to develop these areas of your life, you see that life gets smoother and it becomes a lot easier for you. And then, of course, you get to boost your self confidence, which is very important because if you do not believe in yourself, guess what? Nobody else is going to. So your self-confidence is very, very important. And all of this will come as you keep developing yourself and getting aware and creating your self-awareness. Okay. So why is personal development also important? You live a happier life when you develop yourself, when you are aware of who you are. You stop wishing you were someone else, and then you start, just nurturing your strengths and playing down on your weaknesses, and life begins to be a whole lot happier and easier for you. Okay, I think some people are sending in comments here. I'll check that. Okay. Okay, I'll have a look at those questions. Let me just finish now. And then you get on better with people. People like people who are self-aware because they are happier with their lives, and happier people draw others to themselves. And miserable and gloomy people, repel people from themselves. So it helps your self-confidence as an individual and as a professional. It begins to affect all areas of your life. When you're developing yourself and you're happier, it begins to rub off on all the other areas of your life. And you're more likely to succeed when you're self-aware than when you're not, because you'll be able to know where to channel your energy and your resources to. And personal development makes you discover yourself and passion and gives you a sense of direction in life. Okay, so I was given 40 minutes. I think we've done just about that. Thank you so much. And are there questions? Yes, I'm sure there are. Visit my website, www.nancyekpezu.com. And I'm on WhatsApp at +234-803-5880367. You can send me an email on pezusmithconsulting@gmail.com. I'll be glad to answer them. You can check my link tree at www.linktree.com/NancyEkpezu. You can book a session with me on www.calendly.com/NancyEkpezu. You can join my Facebook group if you're interested in learning about educational administration. The group is Educational Administration Network. On Instagram, I'm Nancy Ekpezu as well. On LinkedIn, I'm also Nancy Ekpezu. So thank you so much. I'm going to take the questions right now. I'm going to take the questions right away so that we start. Okay, Bianca Ihua says, please, how can we do with managing a school and one's temperament issues? Like I said, you have to know what your temperament is. And when you are a leader, and you're sanguine, people are going to just love you. Everybody's going to love and love you. And you usually they make very nice and amiable leaders. So if you are someone like me who is melancholic, usually we're very thorough people, we're detailed, and we like things to be done. And sometimes you may not be as liked as a sanguine, but that's what it is really. But you can also develop some level of charisma to make people work with you. So no matter your temperament, I recommend that you work at developing some level of at least acceptable charisma that makes your team to be motivated to work with you, and also to understand the people that are on your team, and know how to build a team out of them, and not scatter them, and be able to understand human feelings, and know also where to bring processes in and where to balance everything. Okay, I hope that helps, Bianca. Okay, what are the other questions?
We also have a question from Masuma. She asked, "How can we build
Okay, yes,
ourselves?"
I've seen it. It says there are many ways to develop ourselves professionally, but it also depends on our situations and environments. But the ways which work out for me are attending in programs, which is building our capacity, working, volunteering with different organizations, and so on. That is so correct, Masuma. Very correct. Okay, Priyanshi Mehta says, how do we make ourselves emotionally stable? You have to understand yourself. You have to understand, you have to understand yourself as an emotional being. Are you short tempered? Are you someone who, everything everybody says just gets to you and you get gloomy? You have to get to the level of understanding yourself. I think that emotional intelligence comes with self awareness. There's a very strong link between understanding yourself and emotional intelligence. Because the truth is, if you do not understand yourself and what triggers you, okay, you will not be able to handle the emotional part of relating with people, because people are going to step on your toes. There's no guarantee that when you're very sociable or when you start relating with people, everything is all going to be smooth and smooth all the way. No, 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 it doesn't work that way. So you have to learn how to manage yourself first. So being stable emotionally comes with a level of self-awareness, understanding yourself, what triggers you, what makes you happy, what makes you sad, what makes you jealous, what makes you envious, what are the things that just get on your nerves, and you're able to, work on all these areas so that you're able to maintain some level of emotional stability. And being emotionally stable doesn't mean that things do not ruffle you at once, at all. It just means that you're able to deal with them and move on, and you're able to express yourself to the right people that have offended you in the right way without tearing them down when these things happen. I hope that helps. Please tell me if I've answered your question. Okay, how can we build our self-confidence? I have a problem with it. Okay, Masuma says, how can we build our self-confidence? Just like emotional intelligence, self-confidence comes with find out first of all, why are you feeling insecure? Why do you lack self-confidence? Trace it back to your childhood. It's psychologists say that a lot of the things we experience in our first few years of growth have a lasting impact on us. Is it due to maybe your parents having a divorce? Is it due to abusive words that were used on you by some older people that you looked up to? Or was it from school? Or was it from your parents or people who lived within the same house? You should be able to trace back, to exactly the origin of that lack of self-esteem. It may just be that the things that you were told by some parents have a way, maybe they do not know the effect. They use words that are not nice on their children, such as calling them stupid and calling them names that they shouldn't be called. And after a while, these things that call them becomes their inner talk, their self-talk to themselves, and they begin to believe them. So you need to know first where you picked that from, because that will help you deal with it. So you need to have some time with yourself to reflect, a time of self-reflection, and to ask yourself, how did I get here? What are the things that got to me to the level that I began to believe negative things about myself instead of positive things? And then, of course, begin to discover the positive things about yourself, your strengths, okay, while you also realistically look at the weaknesses and find a way around it. And get your close friends to give you feedback about themselves. And these have to be people that you trust, not people who are going to tear you down, but those who are going to tell you the truth just the way it is without necessarily, putting you down. So that helps. But if you need to talk to me about it, I'll really be glad. I've shared my contacts with you, and I'll be glad to step in there to help you do the analysis. Okay. Thank you so much for the perfect presentation. It was wonderful and very useful. Is overthinking effect on our personality? Overthinking. Are you talking about worrying? Because there's a difference between thinking and worrying. Thinking is positive, but worrying is negative. Okay? So that is it. So Nilofa Naderi says, is overthinking, does overthinking have an effect on our personality? I guess you're talking about worrying, right? Because worrying and thinking are two different things. Marina says, how do I get away from a toxic environment? It depends. I've actually worked in a toxic organization, and believe me, that was one of the things that led to my resignation. Some people can just stay in a toxic environment and join in playing the games that go on and all of the things, but I do not have much tolerance for very toxic organizations or company. So whether it's a friendship where you're continually being pulled down, I need you to know that you have a choice. Even if it is your parents who are toxic, some parents do not even realize it, but they get toxic to their children. Even if it is your parents who are getting toxic, you can actually have a chat with them and say, Mom, Dad, can I have a word with you? You did this, you did that, and I'm not comfortable with the way that it is affecting me. You don't have to be insulting about it, but you can say it in a very assertive but nice way that you think that their actions or their words are having a certain negative effect on you and you're not comfortable with it. So no matter where the toxic environment is, whether it's in your home, whether it's with your friendships or whether it's in school, even if it's from your teachers, okay, you can rise up and be assertive. You need to learn assertiveness skills as a young person because the world out there is really crazy. And sometimes people want to take advantage of others. And so you need to learn to be firm and not to be friendly and yet firm, and also to be assertive without being aggressive and nasty. Okay. Well, once in a while, who knows, maybe nastiness works once in a while if it's getting to the extreme, but that's not something I will encourage you to do all of the time. But you need to be able to stand up for yourself and speak out when you're not treated fairly and when you're not, people are getting on your nerves all of the time deliberately, or sometimes they may be doing it without even knowing, or maybe the people have been toxic to them and so they think that's the way to be. And you can teach them that there are better ways. So are there other questions? I hope I've answered all the questions. I've had a great time talking with everybody here. Okay, I think that's the last question. Okay, so thank you so much. Keziah, do we have anything to say?
Yes, ma'am. So thank you so much for taking time out and coming and giving such an enlightening and interactive session with us, ma'am. On behalf of everyone and all the participants and Adore, I would really like to thank you so much for giving us such a wonderful presentation. And thank you so much for coming and joining us, ma'am, and sharing
Oh,
your knowledge with us,
my
ma'am.
pleasure. It's my pleasure, Keziah. And I hope I will get this video. I really would like it
Yes,
on my
ma'am.
YouTube channel.
Yes,
Thank
ma'am.
you so much. Thank you. You have my contact details on the screen. Please take notes of them, my WhatsApp, my website, my email, the link tree,
Yes.
how to book a session with me on Calendly, my Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn profiles. So please do keep in touch, and I look forward to volunteering more on your projects. I think you're doing an amazing job, and I've had, a really great time speaking to all of you today.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for joining us, and we look forward to have more sessions with you, ma'am, and more such webinars
Okay,
and interactive sessions with you, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.
thank you,
And I would
and
also
bye for now.
bye, ma'am. And I would also like to
Bye.
thank all the participants who joined for today's webinar. Thank you all for taking time and joining. Thank you all.